A letter to all teachers. If it wasn't for teachers, I wouldn't be who I am. I was very bright and easily bored. In my early years, kindergarten, grade 1, and grade 2, I had great teachers, but they didn't know how to control me. I was outgoing, happy, energetic, couldn't sit still, and was always sent in the corner. Remember those days when you had a timeout in the corner? It got to the point where I was diagnosed with ADHD and prescribed Ritalin. By the grace of God, however, my parents said no and refused the treatment for me. This allowed me to remain who I was. It was in grade 3, Mrs. Thomas, who recognized that I was very bright, and if she gave me extra stuff to do, I would behave. She gave me crosswords, word searches, book reports, essays. She always had something in the ready, because I would finish the class assignment so early. This is when I would start to act out, just sitting there, waiting in frustration for everyone else to finish. Immediately, she would give me something extra to do, and I never saw it as more work. I saw it as fun. She would even have a table at the back of the room with Legos and other activities she would let me go to. She took me under her wing, and it wasn't that I was a neglected child. My parents both worked to provide. My brothers were grown, 11 years older than me, and I was pretty much alone, and she became my support system. That was the final year I got in trouble in class, and the ADHD diagnosis was never brought up again. In the beginning, when every teacher I had took me under their wing to guide me, keep me safe, love, some would call it the teacher's pet. I called it my survival. In grade 4, Mr. Wilkins, grade 5, Mr. Brown, and grade 6, Mr. Lucas. All of them continued the extra assignments, and in grade 5, an advanced track allowed me to even leave class and do research in the library about topics not even covered in class. As long as I had something to engage my brain, all was right with the world. It was in grade 4 where they wanted to send me to French immersion, change my language to keep me engaged. But my parents said no, afraid a friend infrastructure would affect me. It was also in grade 5 where they wanted me to skip and go straight to grade 7. Again, my parents were afraid of what this would do to my social network and ability to cope outside of my age. But the teachers knew what would help. And so I added athletics to my curriculum, and parents were coaching me in track, volleyball, basketball, and baseball. I actually went on to play soccer for my city, and badminton, baseball, and basketball until I hit college. It was a teacher that diagnosed how to help me, and she put that on my record, and it went all the way through grade school. Then I hit middle school, grades 7 and 8, and this was a new school. Would my records follow? I started to know that I needed extra stuff, and it was here that a full advanced track was in place, and I was engaged. Mr. Middleton and Mrs. Basu kept me motivated and loved, and Mr. Collins, my basketball coach, kept me in line. I had the biggest crush on him. So in those grades, I was given high school work and earned math credits before I even got there. I went straight into grade 10 courses on arrival and finished high school early and finished college early. Mr. Schellenberg in high school, who taught me computer science, along with Miss Gilmore, who taught phys ed, were part of my core development. Add Mrs. Sutton, who taught English and was crippled with early polio. A small, frail woman who taught softly with an iron fist, and who I would defend when it got too unruly, much to my own safety, simply because it was the right thing to do. Taught me compassion. And even though I was a jock, a straight A student, I was also bullied and beaten so bad one day it broke my tailbone, affecting my ability to walk, sit, and function for 7 months. That was back in the day we stayed quiet though, because it would just lead to more abuse. This is when my safe haven taught me to walk on eggshells in order to survive. But the biggest impact was a teacher from college who was the reason I started my business at the age of 19, before I graduated, when my business teacher pulled me aside and said, "What are you going to do when you graduate?" I said, "Get a programming job in Toronto." He said, "No way. You are outgoing, dynamic, a born leader. You are an entrepreneur." And that one sentence changed the course of my life forever. So to say teachers make an impact, or made an impact certainly in my life, would be an understatement. They encouraged me to write, and now I'm a 9-time #1 international best-selling author. They encouraged me to reach, and now I've spoken in over 39 countries, appeared on every major TV network, won awards from the Senate, Assembly, the White House, and President Obama, and impacted millions of women around the world. You are underpaid, undervalued, and deserve far more than a week. But I wanted you to know you matter. And there are millions of kids who come through the system just like me, who needed you every day, and you were there. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And know there is no replacement for what you provide. In more cases than one, you are the parents many kids need. So remember that when it's hard and you wonder why you did it, it's because you had to. It was your mission and your duty, and you stepped up to the challenge, for which we will always be grateful. In this Teacher Appreciation Week, thank you.